and welcome back to Inside the Storm. This is your podcast about everything Newport Storm FC. We're joined today by Ziggy. Firstly, Ziggy, how are you?
Good, brother. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm doing very well. We're very happy to have you here. Let's just jump straight into it. I mean, you're one of the most important figures at the club without, kind of overshadowing, but as the president, you have a lot of official responsibilities. Talk us through kind of your day-to-day and your role within the club and what you do.
Look, I don't look at my role through a title or anything like that, to be honest with you. I see my role and I see my responsibility. I'm a member of the community, and I'm here to serve our community and, try and push things along in that way. So, it's about undertaking everything I can to try and make our club as successful as possible.
Sure.
And a representation of our community. My focus is to sort of make sure that everything is going to plan, everything is going on track. So there's day-to-day operational aspects of it, and then there's the longer term, strategic aspects of the role. But like I said, I don't feel like I just feel like I'm a member of this community, and I've grown up as a member of this community, and this is an opportunity for me to give back to the community. That's sort of the way I see my role. I don't necessarily sort of see any boundaries in that, but it does, mean there's a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
As the club is growing, that responsibility grows. So it's something I take seriously and strive and always look to better myself. I would say I've made a lot of mistakes across the journey, across the years, but I think inshallah we learn from those mistakes, we grow, we try and be better. That's the way I sort of see my role within the club.
Sure. So moving forward, obviously, you've got now the senior team, you've got juniors, but let's kind of go back and how did the club start? What was your vision at the beginning? Sure. And kind of walk us through that history.
Yeah, look, it's a very interesting history. And even in terms of my involvement specifically as well. I'll talk a little bit about that, how the club started, and then, anything else we want to touch on. Essentially, I think it was probably about 2019, late 2019, where a couple of the brothers within the community had approached council, spoken to them about plans of wanting to start a club. And it was a little bit after those conversations had taken place, and they were sort of trying to progress that, where they approached me and said, look, we're looking at starting a club for the community. Are you happy to be involved? And, it is hard to commit time and things like that. So I sort of started off saying, look, I can try and assist where I can. Yep. So that's how it started.
Sure.
Still don't know if that was their strategy to sort of rope me
entice you into getting it.
Or if it was part of the plan. But initially, I think it was just more about to sort of help with some of that initial admin, setting up the club, potentially early on with a little bit of training. So the club, initially we were looking at starting in 2020, and then this thing called COVID.
Sure.
That whole season got cancelled.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like, okay, that's all right. It gives us a little bit more time to do a bit more research about, what it takes. And I don't have any background in organised sporting clubs or anything like that. So I think part of that part of what drew me in, obviously, it's a community club. I grew up in this community. We didn't have the opportunity to have a club when we were younger. We enjoyed playing Sunday after Fajr. We would have a group together, and we would go to the park and play a bit of soccer and really enjoyed that. So, how do we sort of bring that to the community in a more organised way? That was part of what sort of brought me in. And as I said, I've also got my own boys as well. So how do I ensure that they have something that's available to them and the generation of youth that are coming through today as well? So essentially, in 2021, we started our first year. Again, it was a very heavily interrupted year because of COVID. It was a cut down season. Depending on how we edit this vlog, there's a couple of photos we can maybe throw in and just show. Someone shared the photo of the first training session.
Wow. Okay.
You'd be surprised at what it looked like and who was sort of here. So we got underway that year, and progressively, as I said, each year we've sort of been looking at how do we improve, how do we grow as a club, how do we offer a better service to the members of our community, to the players and their families and other things like that as well.
Well, I mean, from going to that to, those kind of humble beginnings to what it is now, I mean, 10 different age groups maybe? Something like that? Like, so, it's grown.
Look, I'd say we're still very much in our foundational stage. So we're at a very important point in the club's history. And interestingly, I sort of mentioned that at the Parents' Information Night as well. All of us have a role to sort of play within the club as well. We've just sort of started building the foundation. This year as well, and every year I feel like we're breaking new barriers.
Sure.
We're achieving things every single year. This year we've introduced two girls teams. We've introduced our seniors and reserves team. So we've also got from under 7s all the way to under 14s as well. So, as you said, quite a few sort of different age groups, different backgrounds that we're looking at bringing into the club. And again, that was one of the key reasons behind us establishing the club in the sense that I think a lot of people within our community felt like they didn't have a club that they could connect to that shared the same values as them. So that's an important part of our foundation. So from a club perspective, I feel like we're at a very critical point where we're putting all the building blocks for our foundation together. And that's a critical point because the foundation is the most important part of most structures, right? Absolutely. I think that's the way we would look at things. So it's how do we build from here? How do we sort of grow from here? And that's what we look for in the future now as well. It's not about just getting to this point and saying that's it. It's about we are, probably, I wouldn't even say we've completed building our foundation. Now, probably our foundational years are really 0 to 10. That's that's the part of sort of building the foundation of the club, and then that's the sort of longer term vision where we look at 10 to 20 years. Where do we want to go, and how do we grow the club as well?
All right, so I've got a terribly difficult question here, which you're definitely unprepared for. But if you had to kind of preview or predict, what does Newport look like in 5 years? What's that kind of long-term vision for the club?
Yeah, look, the long-term vision of the club, we want to produce good people first and foremost. People that are going to be leaders within their community, people that are going to give back to their community. And we also want we want to untap that talent. We've got a lot of talent, mashallah, within our community. We've seen that over the last few years. That talent just needs the right environment, the right direction, the right nurturing, exactly right, to get the most out of that talent. So there's very much an untapped opportunity there. I think we aim big as well. We want to be in a position where we have, I wouldn't even say excellent or great facilities, but world-class facilities. So facilities are a big part of a club, and especially our long-term future. But we know it's a long-term prospect. That it's going to take time to sort of achieve some of those things. But we want to give everyone the best opportunity by having the best environment, the best coaches, the best people around them. And like I said, it's first and foremost about developing them as people. As members of the community, as leaders, and then as football players, we'll call it, the real football, not AFL. A little dig at the
A little controversial
AFL
there,
community.
guys.
No,
Sorry,
there's
but
no
it's true.
controversy. We know that. But you know, we want to develop them into football stars, give them the best opportunity that they can have, and you know, we do have the talent within that community, within our community. So you know, I think within the next 5 to 10 years, I'd like to think that we, you know, are able to sort of stabilise some of those issues that we've got around facilities, have, you know, that not be an issue for us, build our coaching capability, build our capability of players, have a pathway that talent can then progress into. And again, whether that's, you know, they grow up and they sort of aren't necessarily, not every player is going to be a professional player, but every player, we want to be a good person and
have those values.
Have those values, give back to their community, right? But you know, we need to have both of those pathways, so we have those opportunities, because inshallah there will be players that are good enough to reach a professional level, and you know, that's something we aspire to, that we can nurture and build that talent and have the pathway for them to be able to reach those levels that they're capable of.
So far we've had, I mean, on the podcast, the previous 2 episodes, we've had 2 guests from the senior team.
Yeah.
Could you kind of tell us a little bit about what it's like for you to have a senior team at the club and a senior team that's performing well, but also just kind of the role that they play, and especially for the younger generation coming through, what it's like for them to have people and players that they kind of aspire to be like?
Look, it's a great question, and you know, I was hoping to weave in probably a couple of messages into the podcast today, and one really is aimed at the players and also the senior players. I think the senior players and the coaching staff, they're building a pathway. They're part of something really important in the club's history.
Sure.
You know, sometimes it might be difficult because you know, a lot of them are new to this club and new to this community. So what we're really looking at doing is building that connection between the junior players and the senior players, and the senior players are really forging a pathway that you know, our under 12s, under 14s, within a few years, 3-4 years like, potentially, exactly. There's a pathway that has been set out for them. There is an opportunity for them to represent this club and grow into those. And so I'd encourage our senior players to sort of build that connection, understand the identity of the club and where we're headed. And also to our junior players, you know, to support the senior team where they can. You know, again, with our recruitment and the work we've done with the senior team, it's about having individuals that have, you know, really good values and morals and play the game in the right manner. So, you know, they play a very exciting brand of football. As you said, the results. Yeah,
it helps that they're dominating currently.
Yeah, absolutely. I think exactly. You know, the test will come when maybe the results don't go their way. That hopefully won't happen. But if it does happen, you know, that's when we'll see that true character come out.
Sure.
And you know, they'll be role models as well for the younger children coming in. We've also got our technical director, part of that team as well.
True.
So it's a good opportunity because the kids all know Nick really well, so it's a good opportunity for them to connect. We've got a few members within our community, and I'll encourage some of the older members of our community that have played at other clubs, that have experience, to come and get involved.
Sure.
And even to the general public to come and get involved and see what that's like, see what the games are like. You know, we're at a reserve that probably 5 years ago was very barren. There wasn't much activity, much happening here. So I encourage everyone to come on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, a Saturday game, a Sunday game, and just see the community
what the club's
spirit.
Like, what the
exactly
like.
What the club's like, because that's evolved and that's changed over the last few years.
So obviously the seniors have been playing for 3-4 weeks now. Their season's been underway. But now you've got the juniors starting off this weekend. What is that like for the club to have every team playing now, being involved in all of these different competitions? How does that, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, it's very exciting. The start of the season's a very exciting time. it's a very challenging time
Sure.
as well, especially in the lead up. It's a very stressful time for all of us on the committee, for all of us sort of working in the background. So, and you know, for our volunteers, for our parents as well, especially new parents, you have a lot of new players. So I think what we've done well over the last few years is try and bring that level of uncertainty down, especially for new players. So a couple of weeks ago, our technical director, Nick, organised the Gala Day, for example. So that was a really important day, particularly for the juniors, because it gave them the match day experience. And even for the parents, for the new time parents as well. So yeah, it's very exciting. You know, the work is happening in the background right up until the last minute. We have a big round one, a home round one as well. I think we might have 11 or so home games happening.
Just non-stop. Guys, just get here at 10 a.m. and you can stay till 4.
Even earlier. We've got games starting from 9 o'clock.
Wow,
so,
all right, 9 a.m. guys.
Yeah. And I think the last game finishes about 1:30 or so. So it's very exciting. And it's something that the players all look forward to. And my message to the players is go out there and have fun, enjoy yourself, represent the club in a positive way. This is your chance to sort of show what you can do. As I said, in a positive way. We're not at that age group, those age groups, it's about having fun first.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then let the results naturally come.
Sure.
So, and to the parents as well, it can be a difficult time as well, just sort of navigating, what you need to do, what you need to prepare, what you need
Please,
to
guys,
expect.
try to get the kids here on time.
Yes,
It's difficult for warm-ups, so know that.
But, we work closely with the parents, and we want to build that partnership. We want to thank the parents for their patience and understanding, because things aren't always going to go right.
Yeah,
we're going to have struggles on match days. We're going to have issues in the lead up to match days, in the lead up to such a big start. But parents play a very critical role, especially with the juniors, because it's the parents that are usually bringing them to the matches. It's the parents that are encouraging them during the game. It's the parents that need to role model, starting with myself. Take this feedback myself. They need to role model those positive behaviours first and foremost. I think it's great to have the parents on board and be supportive, and we thank them for their patience as the season unfolds as well. But it's a very exciting time.
Sure. I mean, I think one thing that really, it's probably our fault we haven't spoken that much about, but I think it's a massive, massive thing for the club. Obviously, we've spoken about the seniors, but what's it like having a girls' team, and how important is that for the club?
Yeah. Look, it's important for our community. I think you touched on it before, that we're looking to build an inclusive club where different races, different nationalities, even in this instance, a different gender can participate. We also, I spoke about our foundation, and a core part of it is our Islamic values. So understanding what the values are of our community, whether they be religious or whether they be cultural values as well. So, this is us creating a pathway that ensures that these girls can play organised sports, but still uphold their beliefs, still uphold their values, still uphold their identity. So it's very much the start of the journey for them, and we're excited for them to have that opportunity, and we're excited for the future as well, to have a pathway for those girls as they get into older age groups. Again, that's not going to compromise their Islamic values. It's not going to, put them in uncomfortable situations. So, that's a big part of establishing that team and having that pathway. I think it's exciting for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of times you've seen younger siblings sometimes come and watch their brothers have a kick and play, and want to get involved.
Sure.
So yeah, hopefully it gives them a good opportunity to get involved in some organised sport. And as I said, it puts the onus on us to ensure we have the right pathway for them moving forward as well.
Absolutely. Well, Ziggy, we know the president's very, very busy, so we've taken up quite a bit of your time. But before we go, is there any kind of last message you'd like to give to the audience and to the club?
Yeah. Look, I think there's a few messages that I would like to give as we sort of spoke about. We're heading to a very exciting time. The season's really going to get fully underway now, particularly once the juniors start. So, look, I want to say to our players, have fun, enjoy yourself. Continue to sort of break the barriers that you have been, and working hard as well. The players, obviously, everything's about the players, and we're always looking at improving things, improving their facilities, improving the opportunities that the players have. The players are the future of the club.
Sure.
So they're the future leaders of the community. They're the representatives. So
Absolutely.
We hope that they can continue with that as well. I also want to say to the parents, I think we touched on as well, you play a crucial role, and really the parents are there to help drive the club forward.
Absolutely.
So we want to see as many parents involved in whatever ways they can be, help support the club, help advocate for the club, ensure that your children are upholding those values as well, and be the role models that your children need as well. But we appreciate everything the parents have done.
They play a massive role, right?
100%. Equally as important as well, our coaching staff as well. It's a very exciting coaching lineup that we've got this year as well, both across the senior team and the junior team. We've got some returning coaches, which is very exciting. It's always good when you've got those coming back, and some new coaches as well. And what's exciting for me about the coaching area in particular is that we've got some members within the community who've played football at other clubs and have come back now. And it's great to see them emerge and continue to sort of excel in their coaching capacity. And I do want to give a special mention to Nick, the technical director as well. I know
the man who does everything, right?
Absolutely. Nick is a person that always goes above and beyond.
Sure.
I don't think all technical directors are like this, but he knows every single child. He is there for their development. He's there always sort of giving either the child or the parents the right advice. What can you do to improve? What can you do to get better? The right encouragement, always really positive. He's a very hardworking, genuine, honest person as well. So, we spoke about foundational bricks and building foundation of the club. He plays a very strong role in that. And, having him as technical director, I think puts us in good stead.
Absolutely. He drives the club forward, right?
100%. So the general community as well, I want to say, get behind the club.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
It's time to get on board with the Storm. It's time to get on board with the Storm. It really is. Like I said, earlier, come down, see a training night, see a match day, support your community in whatever way you can, even if that's just cheering, from the sidelines. We want the community involved. We want them, as I said, the club is for the community. And, no season can, or no club can function without their partners. Sure. So I know we're probably going to have maybe a specific partner on this video, but I do want to, give them a little bit of a call out ahead of the sort of full season start. We've had some partners that have been with us since day one.
Yeah.
So, for example, you look at Human Appeal.
Sure.
They do some amazing humanitarian work across many countries, whether that be because of, people that are undergoing sort of a humanitarian crisis, whether that be through natural disasters and other things. We've seen the work across the years that they've done, Lebanon, Syria, Sudan, recently in Palestine, in Gaza, Free Palestine, throw it out there. Human Appeal, ever since I was younger, have been involved in the community and have been supporting the community, and they've actually been a partner with us since we first started.
Which is incredible. I mean, that's
100% looking at that. But, there's also other partners, Hijaz, which offer Islamic financial services. They've been a really important supporter for us. This is their second year in a row as well, and we hope to build a long-term partnership with them because they're a great partner of the club. We also, what's really interesting and I feel different as well, we're seeing more members of our playing community, families that have a connection to the club, either their kids are playing or nephews or relatives are playing, that are now getting behind the club as well. So in the past couple of years, we've had Efficiency Plus as well, which again we're really happy for their support. And the new sort of big sponsor that we have this year is BDA Homes as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, they're a family type sort of company as well that have been members of the community and worked with the community for a long time. And then, we've got like Islamic College of Melbourne. We're really interesting mix because we do get a lot of players even from outside our sort of council area as well. So Islamic College of Melbourne, I think, has been on board for a few years now. And we're, very happy with the support that they provide us. Another one that's been with us since the start, Premier Professional Partners as well. So they've been with us since the very start. And another one who's supported in various different ways. We've got Big and Scott, KJ again. He helps out with the coaching, and you can see the passion that he brings.
Absolutely.
But also from a financial perspective, and that's really appreciated. Him and his dad Mick, they've been really strong supporters of the club since day one in any capacity that they can be. And it's great to have them back on board this year as well as a partner. And NIS 4x4 as well, Haas, who has children here at the club. Again, he's come on board because he's seen the community aspect. He's seen what the club's done for the community and how it's supported the community. And it's a way of him giving back to the community. So these are mum and dad, smallish organisations, but they see the vision of the club and they're trying to give back. And I understand not everyone can give back in a financial way as well. But
just the support means everything.
The support means everything. We've had Medina Halal meets. I spoke about, when we were younger, it was what some of the younger generation will understand, the difficulty of finding or sourcing halal meats. And Medina was, one of the pioneers of the halal meat industry in Victoria. And so they've been a great supporter for a couple of years now as well. And this year we've introduced some community support type packages as well, and we've been fortunate enough to have, again, family of some of our players here, Bowden Plumbing as well, come on board and help support the club as well. So, I did want to take probably longer than I should have, but to really thank them because without their support, without their generous
sponsors are as crucial as any other.
Yeah, without their generous financial contribution, we wouldn't be able to provide the services that we do. We wouldn't be able to sort of have the club that we have. But I really, the big one I want to emphasize, and again, we spoke a little bit about our history, is volunteers. Yeah. Volunteers are the absolute sort of lifeblood and heartbeat of the club. We've had some families and people with us volunteering since day one. And volunteering takes a toll as well. It takes a bit of a burden on all of us. Volunteering is difficult because it can take you away from the responsibilities that you have, other responsibilities that you have.
It can be very time-consuming.
We all have responsibilities to our families. We all have responsibilities to our children, if they're married, to their wives, and so on. So. And to our community, but giving up that time, it just means a lot. And talking a little bit back about our history as well, the first year, that's what we relied on. We relied so heavily on volunteers, where to the extent where we sort of had a whole bunch of people that said, "Well, I don't know much about football at all, But you know what? I'm willing to put my hand up and
Yeah.
give it a go. And so we had a whole bunch of them. There were mini roosters as well. Maybe we'll throw in a picture if we can of that initial group, because they were the original
Yeah.
sort of volunteers
The
of the
backbone,
club
but
that sort of built that culture. And lastly, I just want to also call out the hard work that the committee does in the background. A lot of the time that work goes unseen, but I can guarantee you, as the years have progressed, in particular, the committee has not stopped year round. It's become a year-round game, and you know there's efforts there that are happening tirelessly. So yeah, look, there's a lot, probably too much there, a lot of messages there, but you know there's a lot of people to thank and a lot of people that are part of that success of the club.
Yep.
And you know that doesn't even touch on things like you know the support that we get from the broader community, from council, from government, all those types of things as well, which have really helped us grow as a club.